We had a chance to check this out down at the curling ice rink at Nashua Country Club. That's Aaron there. Coming out of what they call the hack. This is called shuffleboard on ice. Basically, you take those 42-pound stones, and you got to get it close to what they call the button or the bullseye.
Look at that form.
The form is actually, you did very well. After a few tries, that's actually a few tries. And it's complicated because you got to throw it down. I forget what it was, 140 feet, something like that.
But this, the sweeping, that takes a lot of muscle. These people, I mean, they must be really buff, I would think, after doing that, because I'm sore today.
And you were already buff.
They're always so busy with the brooms. Why can't they just clean the ice out ahead of it? They have to have people out there during the event sweeping it.
Because that changes the velocity.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It's
really
a whole
fun.
science to this. And once you learn about it, it becomes much more interesting.
That's science.
Oh, good.
On Chronicle.
And there goes another stone here in the rink at Nashua Country Club. Look at that thing go.
I know. And now they're going to start using the brooms. I'm not quite sure
Hurry harder
exactly.
is what we're supposed to be yelling, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, hurry harder. You know, it was back in the winter of 1928, a group of hardy souls gathered on the pond at the 9th hole here at the Nashua Country Club to cast the very first stones.
Yeah, and in 1941, tired of problems with the snow and the rain created, the curlers decided to move indoors. And curling here has really never looked back.
Yeah, we've got a few things to learn this week, not the least of which is all the terminology, and there is a glossary of terminology. In fact, care to join me for a bonspiel?
I don't know. Yes?
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. Yeah.
I do?
Yeah,
okay. I do know that dumping the handle is bad.
Okay, that's bad.
I've heard that.
Dumping
but
the handle.
If someone tells you to die, it isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Someone did that outside, so that wasn't a bad thing. Okay.
No,
that's actually a good thing.
We'll explain.
As long as it dies in the right spot, right? First up tonight, do you know one of the most unique airports in the country is right here in New Hampshire, and you can only land there in the winter. And what if I tell you it should be a smooth landing?
Yeah, it must be the Alton Bay Ice Runway at Lake Winnipesaukee. You know, for most of the year, it's a seaplane landing strip, but when the water freezes, hundreds of planes land on it each year.
Yeah, take a look at what it's like to land on water and how much work goes into keeping an ice runway prepped for takeoff.
Let's see you do a little curling.
Like actually curl this thing?
Some curls.
No, they weigh about 42 pounds, these things. They're quite heavy, but they have to be very strong. They come from special rocks over in Scotland because they're smashing into each other.
Well, Scottish granite, by the way. Not New Hampshire granite. Yeah.
You want to try to karate chop this thing in half?
I don't think it's a good idea.
We're going to save that for the commercial break, everybody. Good night.
Next, on Chronicle. Okay, good throw, good throw.
Sweep! Sweep, sweeper! Hurry harder! Hurry harder! Hurry harder! Oh!
Not so good.
Close to the bullseye, or as the button.
That's a workout.
It was a workout. Got the 8-foot, but not quite the button. Welcome, by the way, folks, to the curling rink here at the Nashua Country Club.
Yeah, we're giving curling a whirl. See how we do. Maybe we can improve. I got to work on my sweeping.
No, sweeping wasn't bad. Boy, it is a workout, though. I'm out of breath here. Speaking of ice and cold, sometimes when we drive to work, the roads can be snow-covered, maybe a little icy. Occasionally, that leads to losing control of the car.
Yeah, it can happen to anyone driving in the snow, but there are some basic skills that help you avoid spinning out of control.
Yeah, we headed just north of Littleton to a town called Dalton to attend skid school, where anyone can learn how to think fast in those scary moments and, most importantly, drive safely.
So I'm working on my form here, Sean. I'm supposed to stretch out like this. It's not easy to do.
Well, you look like, I should be sweeping. I should be sweeping.
Okay, sweep.
Whoa.
We're going to have a collision with our camera.
Okay, we're going to break the camera right there, folks. You are way too strong for your own good.
I guess so. I got to lighten it up over here.
I don't say this often. We got to get you out of the gym. Next up, he was a legendary musician, songwriter, and contra dance caller. Peterborough's Bob McQuillan passed away a few weeks ago, but his music will live forever.
McQuillan wrote more than 1,500 dance tunes, but his greatest joy came from what he called boom chucking, or making the rhythms that set feet moving on the dance floor.
Now, we first featured Mr. Mac, as his friends called him, on Chronicle way back in 2002, not long after he'd been honored with the nation's highest honor in the folk and traditional arts, a National Heritage Fellowship.
And here's a look back at the man who was one of a kind. So, of course, we're naturals, right? But we do want to brush up on our skills. So we're joined now by Stephanie Tipping. Stephanie's been playing curling for 5 years now.
Yep.
So what is the correct stance? School us on the stance here.
So when you're delivering a stone, the Olympic curlers will get as low to the ice as they can. But it's generally you're having one foot sliding out, and the other one can be right underneath you or behind you. And you're using the broom as a tripod, so the broom actually comes in contact with the ice, and you'll slide forward, and the broom slides with you, and you release the stone that way.
And you just have to learn that touch, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a little bit of a wrist turn.
Yep, so you'll either start with the handle facing 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and you'll turn it to noon as you extend your arm like a handshake, and then you let go of the stone.
I'm seeing the three of us in the next Olympic team.
I think so.
4 years from now.
You never know. We got to practice some more, though. Thanks for joining us.
Good night, everybody.
All right, so where do we begin here? See, he's the pro.
Wow, there's a lot going on here. Welcome, by the way, to one of the most unique places in the entire state of New Hampshire, the only curling rink in the whole state.
They're getting into it. This is a workout, too, to get down and use the broom. It's a lot of fun. And they have people of all ages that are part of this club here at the Nashua Country Club.
Yeah, the working out, by the way, is very important. That it creates a perfect path for that stone to get right into the bullseye, or the button, as they call it. First up tonight, it can be a pretty thankless job. Someone always second-guesses your every decision, and they make you dress like a zebra on skates.
So why do they do it? Well, the love of the game, of course. Jim Foley shows us what it's like to be a hockey referee. Hurry hard.
Hurry hard, hurry harder. Sweep, sweep. It's all part of the sport. You got to coordinate as a team to get that stone to go right into the right spot.
There it goes. This is really fascinating to watch, isn't it?
It's amazing because it looks very easy, but they've been doing this a long time, and that's why it looks so easy.
Yeah.
It certainly does. Just over the border in the Merrimack Valley city of Lowell, Mass., Elliott's Restaurant has been serving up its world-famous hot dogs since 1920.
It opened as a lunch cart back then, but it has now grown over the years, and so has its menu. The Garside family of Salem, New Hampshire has been operating it for decades, and loyal customers who grew up on Elliott's dogs and fries are now bringing their own children to this legendary lunch spot.
Yeah, that's right. Audrey Cox visited Elliott's to find out for herself why so many Granite Staters say it's worth the trip south. Here she comes fast. She's coming. Whoa! Sweet!
I have a due respect for these people.
It takes a lot of work. Well, we're hurrying as hard as we can.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Aaron, you got that, right?
I don't know.
Bring it right into the button. Woo. Have a great night, everybody. I'm just going to rest here for a bit.
So I feel like I'm about ready to bust some ghosts here with this on my back.
You look that way, too. You got the pebbler on.
I do, but I'm going to give it a little pump
Yeah.
and put myself to work right here. See how this goes.
Oh, boy. Stay away from the camera.
I'm doing this well. Now, come on, it's your turn.
Yeah, I got a nip now. I'm going to come in here with the nipper. I just didn't want to be close to you spraying that water because, folks, she's never done the pebbling before. So this is obviously, you kind of smooth it out this way. This is kind of easy. During a bonspiel, by the way, and during a tournament, they'll do this every 2 hours. So it's a lot of work getting the surface.
And a
just right.
bonspiel is what?
A tournament where you...
It's a good time.
A good time. Well,
Right?
obviously a tournament or a good time.
Right. We're learning the lingo.
Yeah, we are.
Slowly. Next,
We're working on
they
it.
are the most unlikely of couples. One's tall, one's small, and together they have done extraordinary things.
Yeah. Atticus Maxwell Finch has led more than 450 climbs of New Hampshire's 4,000 footers, and his owner... Did I mention the fact that Atticus is a miniature schnauzer? Well, Atticus and his hiking companion, author Tom Ryan, have documented their travels in a book.
It's a story of a great adventure and friendship and a rediscovery that the author calls Following Atticus.
All right, good Good curling, everybody. Good curling. Oh, good curling.
Good curling.
Good curling. Excellent match. Good curling.
Good curling now. Oh, we're the real couple.
Sorry.
Good curling, thank you.
Sorry to beat you guys.
Good curling.
Once again, Team Chronicle, come on.
Very good curling.
Have a great night, everybody, and good curling.